Ladies and gentlemen, on this video here today, I want to take you through on how Raila Odinga finally declared to become the AUC chair candidate, and also want to take you through how the journey was after the declaration, and finally how Raila Odinga is at this point, a day to the voting to take place. But before I do so, please, if this is the first time you're watching our videos, kindly make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Let me begin. Now, first of all, how did Raila Odinga find himself in the AU? We have to remember that Raila Odinga has always found ways to be relevant in the Kenyan politics. But now, after the demonstrations that he had, where he was calling for the reduction of the cost of living, high cost of living, where he was also talking about the issues to do with salaries and many other things that Kenyans were experiencing. He also talked about the stealing of elections in the country. Raila Odinga now later on had a discussion with President William Ruto, and William Ruto, under the supervision or maybe presiding over the former president of Nigeria, that is Olusegun Obasanjo, they agreed to support Raila Odinga to go for the AU seat. Despite of his age, Obasanjo and William Ruto saw that the best way Raila Odinga can be managed is by being taken to the AUC. It was a seat that went to be vacant this year, and the candidates were welcomed to declare their candidatures. So as we speak today, Raila Odinga is among the candidates. And that is how Raila Odinga found himself to be the AU chairperson. So the first objective was, it was a way, first of all, to get out of the Kenyan politics. The second thing, of course, it was a deal, because this thing requires a lot of money. Raila Odinga's campaign must be funded by the government. So that was one of the reasons as well. Now, however, someone can also take it from a different angle. Raila Odinga, being a political genius in the country, probably could have thought this way: I first create chaos, then I take it as an excuse to go for the AU. So we can also probably take it like it was a plan that he had in mind. So he was probably doing this intentionally so that he could get away, just an excuse to get out of the Kenyan politics as an individual. So nevertheless, is the candidate of the AUC. Now, so how was the journey? So upon the declaration, Raila Odinga needed the launch, which happened here in Nairobi State House. We had about 5 presidents that attended. And during this kind of a launch, it was very okay that Raila Odinga gave speeches, president gave speeches, but most of them from East Africa. So the fact means that he must get some of the Eastern Africa countries supporting him, which of course some of them are going to do. But we are not sure, because it's going to be a secret ballot thing. Now, after the declaration or the launch, Raila Odinga now started the campaign. First, remember, he has to get the funds from the Kenyan government, of which William Ruto did diligently. He ensured that Raila Odinga is well funded with the secretariat to move across the country, where Musalia Mudavadi was part of it. Now, upon that happening, Raila Odinga went on with the campaigns as usual. But now developments in Kenya, or maybe challenges, started occurring. Which are some of these challenges? First of all, it is the demonstrations that started in this country. But even before the demonstrations, the campaigns even started against the Finance Bill 2024. At that time, Raila Odinga was already a candidate. When this unrest was in the country, the entire world, the entire continent, African continent, was watching what is happening in Kenya. This thing culminated to the street protest and finally the killings and occupation of parliament. Youths were killed and youths occupied Kenyan parliament. That is simply what happened. Now, when you look at this from a wider perspective, the African continent was watching, and it was watching closely on what can Kenya offer through Raila Odinga to the African continent. To be honest, that was one of the greatest challenges Raila Odinga was facing. There was no possibility that Raila Odinga could go to a country and convince them that when I take power as as AUC chair, I'm going to ensure that there's peace and stability here. Yet back in the country, there was no peace. So that one was one of the greatest challenges that Raila Odinga faced in his campaign, where he had to come back to Kenya, resolve the issues, then proceed with his campaign. The second thing, it is the picture of William Ruto that was being painted outside there as far as the demonstrations are concerned. Kenyans were talking of high cost of living. Kenyans were talking of ignorance, flamboyant lifestyle of leaders, poor management of public funds, which means that the entire world was watching. Is this the also same things that Raila Odinga tolerates? So it was very clear, people watching, that is Raila Odinga going to be a solving problem person, or is going to be a problem creating person? So William Ruto was as well a challenge. Because the picture that was being painted outside there, the person number one who is going to vote for Raila Amolo Odinga now appears to be the one who is being accused of these things, then probably is bringing us the same caliber of a person into the same office. So that was a question that was going around Kenyan politics. I mean, the African continent. So the fact remains, it was also a big challenge. Not just that as far as Ruto is concerned. We also realized that during that time, William Ruto was constantly moving across the country, going to various countries like Switzerland, Germany, China, going to even US most of the time, and even going to France to make speeches to appear like is the African savior, African number one president, the best African president. What culminated to what we call the visit, a state visit to the US. From my point when I speak about this, I feel that strongly that Ruto, because of his association with the Western countries, there are some of the African continent countries that are allied to the Eastern, which were also feeling bad and comfortable with what William Ruto was doing. So therefore, this affected Raila Amolo Odinga's possibility to get votes from some of these countries that are pro-East, like China and also even the Russia. So in a nutshell, there were so many parameters that were being used here, but that one really affected William Ruto negatively. Upon Raila Amolo Odinga experiencing these challenges, we realized that William Ruto now, solutions were being looked for. And William Ruto, the first thing he did is to cut off the journeys to America, to China, to US, to France, to Germany, and many other countries that he used to visit. Now, at least he has been in the country moving across. Probably after Raila has won, he will start again moving to these other countries. So the fact remains that the solution to that was William Ruto to shut his mouth and stop traveling. So he shut. Actually, was speaking all over as one of the presidents in Africa who are good. But in real sense, that upon realizing it's affecting Raila Amolo Odinga, he stopped the trips. Since we had that time, Raila Amolo Odinga, William Ruto has not gone to any other international country to do anything, except one, I think. And I think that was very good because at least he stopped. Now, after that had happened, William Ruto has now been funding Raila Amolo Odinga, ensuring that he's comfortable, campaigning locally and moving across the country to show that he has supported Raila Amolo Odinga in the best way he can to see that he has won. And the campaigns have gone down now. And Raila Amolo Odinga, as we speak today, is in Addis Ababa, waiting to be voted for or be rejected. So the fact remains that the voting is going to take place on Saturday. Raila Amolo Odinga is waiting to be voted in. Now, he's going to ensure actually did the last campaigns where he visited two countries, Burundi and Somalia. Now that he's in Addis Ababa, we are hoping to see that he's going to probably now compose himself. And the way he said, I'm ready, whether I fail or pass, I'm ready because I have a home. And if I succeed, I'm ready to work. I don't know what's your take as far as Raila Amolo Odinga's journey is concerned, but please let me see in the comment section what you think about this AUC competition.